Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
I would like to apologize. I just looking through, and I believe for these first innings, we actually have not been on the air for our audio. Our visual has been there, but I just didn't have our sound plugged in. Yeah, we are now up for that. So I do apologize for that.
I'll give a recap of the scoring. In the first inning, Sheboygan scored 3 runs on 4 hits, 3 of those being doubles. And Kewaskum came back to tie up the game in the top of the third. TJ Roberts hitting a 3-run homer. And that's where we're at right now, bottom of the third, all tied up at 3.
That one hit well by Hansen, but lined right to the right fielder, Andy Nye.
The first A's run, Sheboygan A's run, came on a wild pitch. Carson Hansen scoring. Then Jacob Neese doubled in a run. Jimmy Jurgensen singled in a run, and that was our 3. We mentioned Roberts had the 3 RBIs for the Kewaskum Ball Club.
First pitch from Sweet is in there. Jake Sweet, the pitcher for Kewaskum, being caught by Jared Chesick. That one hit high into center, but ranging over is Dylan Dietert, the former Sheboygan A.
You know, the last 4 outs have been fly balls to the outfield, and a couple of those were just scalded. I mean, really hit hard, but we're hitting in tough luck right now.
Lots of hard hit balls out here in these recent at-bats as the Northwoods cleanup hitter Brady Zackerson will come up. That one taken in for a strike.
We'll talk a little bit when we come back about upcoming games and our success against Kewaskum so far this year. Hopefully it continues tonight. But those are things we talked about during the first couple innings. Charlie, we can talk about them again.
Yeah, we have our soundboard up here and just looked at it, and there's not any lights on there. And so we're
that's the key.
Unplugged on that.
Hey,
but
I was sitting right in front of it and didn't notice.
Better to notice it than go the entire game without having the audio on
maybe
there.
the people enjoyed it more without.
Brady popping that one deep, and Dietert will get the catch to end our bottom of the third. Sheboygan still not able to recover since that first inning, as the score remains 3-3.
Hold time is now less than 96 minutes. thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
And Kewaskum ready to start off the top of the fourth. A good crowd out here at Wildwood Park. Have Remax out in the Budweiser party deck, as well as did have a tailgating crew out here earlier. We mentioned 250 people signed up for that. Not sure how many stayed for the game, but
we mentioned Sheboygan came into tonight's game with a 20-11 record, and having won 8 of their last 9, 5 in a row. They won the WABC tournament over the weekend, and that was their 5 wins in a row. So they've been playing well recently.
And Council trying to get to that one, not able to recover. Sorry, that was Bennett Becker. Apologies. Jack Council usually our shortstop. Going over the defensively for Sheboygan, we did mention this before, but of course, when we didn't have the audio on, Jacob Neese over at first, Jack Council at second, Bennett Becker the shortstop, and third base is Harry Stout. Left field is our normal lineup: Carson Hansen in left, Gus Walker in center, and right fielder Brady Zackerson, Sage Stellmacher behind the dish. His first strike to Hunter Lozier.
Yeah, we mentioned Sage is only this is only a second game played with Sheboygan this year. He played quite a bit last year, battling the injury bug, and that's why he hasn't been with us sooner.
1-1 count now to Lozier. Brad Young, the 5-hitter for Kewaskum. Lozier, and he's at first base. Lozier, number 6-hitter, singled back in the second. And hit pretty well. Becker not going to get a hand on that one. Dropping it, and Lozier in. Now Schmitty, no outs with 2 runners aboard for Andy Nye, the right fielder for Kewaskum.
If it's any consolation, at least he's got the bottom 3 of the order coming up. And he struck out Nye his first time up.
Nye and the on-deck hitter Mike Prochnow both struck out by Schmitty in their first appearances. And squaring up to bunt is Nye. Did pull back on that one. Kind of see him moving up a little bit in the
it's
a
good
box.
move. Get those runners over. Harry playing even with the bag, and Jacob Neese moving up a step or 2 also over at first.
And a very well-placed bunt. Schmidt's going to just get the easy play. Sacrifice bunt successful for Andy Nye to bring up Mike Prochnow.
That's a good play. I like that. Get the runners over. Put a little more pressure on Schmitty and Stellmacher to keep the ball from going to the backstop.
Good play call by Kewaskum A's manager Jim Ziegler.
Yeah, you don't see that very often these days. That's just not the way baseball is played normally now.
Got the first pitch on the outside to the DH, Mike Prochnow.
It's our 3rd game against Kewaskum. You mentioned that when we weren't on the audio part. Winning. What was the first score?
First score was 3-2 in our play ball tournament, and then on Sunday to win the Wisconsin Amateur Baseball Classic, won that one 8-4 in comeback fashion.
And this one again, a important game because it's a league game. Northeastern, Wisconsin. If based on the standings that we have, if Sheboygan can win tonight, they will climb above Kewaskum for 3rd place in the league.
Pitch on the outside. Busy week of games for Sheboygan. Of course, finished off the WABC on Sunday, and then 4 games in a row starting with today. Tomorrow out at Green Bay, and Thursday and Friday out here in Sheboygan. The 2-2 pitch is hit and will drop. At least 1 run will score, and Gus Walker not able to come up cleanly with that one, so 2 runs will score on the single.
Yeah, it'll be a single, and the run scores on the E8. He was going to pull up at third and stop, but when the third base coach saw it was muffed, he sent the runner and he scored. Now Sheboygan's down 2, and they still only have 1 out.
Landing Behringer coming up for Kewaskum. Of course, mentioning the games before Thursday against the West Allis Nationals and Friday against the Appleton Legends, both here at Wildwood, will be broadcast on this place. Hopefully we'll actually remember to have the sound for the full game for those ones.
Yeah, we'll have an eye on that, won't we?
1-1 count now to Behringer. Walked and took 2 stolen bases in his first appearance for scoring on the T.J. Roberts 3-run home run. Good pitch from Schmitty. Schmitty went coming into this game with a 1.35 ERA in 20 innings pitched with 18 strikeouts.
Yeah, of the 5 runs scored by Kewaskum, 4 of them are earned. He's out. That's an automatic out, Charlie, because there's a runner on first. So even though that got by Stelmacher, the runner's out.
So maybe getting a little bit of a break there is Sheboygan as Dylan Dietert comes up. Dietert, one of 3 former Sheboygan A's on this starting lineup for Kewaskum, alongside Brad Young and T.J. Roberts. Dietert playing center field for Kewaskum.
Roberts really stinging his old team with that 3-run blast.
Proc now not a big lead over at first. Schmitty a little bit inside on that one.
2-0 is the count, but we do have 2 outs. We need to get some of those hard-hit balls we've been hitting in the 2nd and 3rd inning, get them to drop in the 4th inning.
Pitch down low.
Keep in mind that game on Sunday against Kewaskum, we were down and came back and won it.
Now Dawson Silvosky picked up the win in that one. Mentioned while we were off audio, that one is foul. That one's hit. Zackerson trying to track it down, but it will go foul.
Out of play in the bullpen area, way down the line.
I did mention while we were we couldn't hear us, but during the WABC.
You know, I thought that those first 2.5 innings, that's the best broadcast job we've done all year.
Did everything perfectly.
And they missed. Oh, it's just, it's really tragic.
It is. But none of the top pitchers for Sheboygan did play in that tournament, as Schmitty gives up another walk to Dylan Dietert.
This is unbelievable. Schmitty with 3 walks in the ball game. The 2 walks in the 3rd, of course, scored on the home run.
Had 5 coming into this game.
All year.
Yeah, 5 for the year going into this, but struggling a little bit with this one. Kewaskum just able to take advantage, and that's sometimes what can happen in baseball. You just have an off day, team can take advantage, as Ethan Sawyer, the second baseman, comes up. 1 count now, and hit well into center. Gus Walker going to easily track that one down, and will get that for out number 3, but Kewaskum still able to capitalize off of a few strong at-bats to get the lead 5-3.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Heading into the bottom of the fourth inning, Sheboygan down 5-3. Jacob Neese coming up. He was one of 3 hitters back in the first with a double for Sheboygan.
Also, keep in mind, fans, this is a 9-inning game tonight. So even though we're down 2, we have a couple extra innings to make those runs up.
A lot of games so far this year that have been at home, at least starting off the year, were 7 innings, as that one is grounded to short, and Neese is retired.
Young making a nice throw that time.
Had a little bit of difficulty locating his throws during the first inning. Still did manage to get a couple of outs from it.
Jimmy singled in a run his first at bat. His hit was the 4th of the inning. Matter of fact, that's the last hit we've had.
Hit foul. Jake Sweet coming into this game with a 3.21 ERA and looked to start off the game being behind on that, but since that first inning has really shut down the Sheboygan offense. And Jimmy launching the bat. Not something you see all too often.
Yeah, it's a good thing the screen was there, or those people sitting on the bench right next to the Kewaskum dugout might have got injured. And it looks like right over by them is a baby carriage, and I'm assuming there's a baby inside.
You've had, ballpark always has the watch for flying bats and balls. And you don't really think about the bats too much, but when they fly out of the hand, they can be real dangerous. 1-2 count now to Jimmy. Takes that one in for a ball. .255 average on the year with a .415 slugging, as well as a .343 on base. So walking pretty well, hitting pretty well when he does make contact. That one popped up and foul. That one bouncing off the roof and onto the bottom of a car.
With Jimmy's hit, he's actually hitting currently .263.
That one grounded over, and Roberts taking a little bit of time to turn around, but still was quick enough to get Jurgensen for the second out to bring up Bennett Becker. Becker, someone who's more of a rotational piece for Sheboygan, not always getting the start, but still with 6 doubles on the year on top of a .288 average coming to the game.
He's gotten some big hits this first half of the season for Sheboygan.
That one lined right over to Ethan Sawyer, the second baseman, and Sheboygan retired at 1-2-3 to end off the 4th inning.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then our dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Are you serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
And Sheboygan ready to start off their top of the fifth, hoping to pitch pretty well. Eric Schmidt's pitching 73 pitches up to this point compared to Jake Sweet's 57. And to think that he started off the game really efficiently with 25 pitches through the first 2 innings, but Kewaskum has since been able to capitalize, retiring the last 10 Sheboygan A's hitters.
Let's talk about something more positive, Charlie. We just had our inflatable race here at the park, and it's pretty exciting. They're stumbling over each other. But I was reading an article today. This year is the 30th year that Milwaukee, the Brewers, have been having their sausage race, and they were the first in Major League Baseball, and obviously the longest. And it's evolved over the years. They only had 3 racing sausages at the beginning, and then they added the hot dog, and I think it was in 2007 they added chorizo.
I do somewhat remember them adding chorizo. I think that adding hot dog was before my time, but chorizo I do remember getting added, as that one will be popped up by Roberts and easily grabbed by Nice.
But anyway, it's special to Sheboygan, and of course other teams have copied Sheboygan. I think it's Washington has the President's Race, and what was it? Who was the one? Cleveland has one. Pittsburgh has one that's kind of a lame one, but yeah, right. But the Milwaukee one has been the most successful. Of course, we're not prejudiced in that regard, are we?
I don't think so. It's accepted that the racing sausages are an icon of sports, of baseball at the very least. Jared Chesick comes up, flied out twice so far in this game. Both to the outfield, though.
You know, at these last 2 innings, Kewaskum sending up so many batters. Chesick this is his 3rd trip to the plate against Schmitty.
That one will be inside, 3-1 count. And Schmitty, generally a pretty good strike thrower, but
yeah, he's having his trouble tonight.
He hits that one pretty deep. Gus Walker taking a little bit of time just to make sure he's reading it right, and retires Chesick for the 3rd time in this game to bring up Brad Young.
Sometimes those balls that are hit directly at you as an outfielder are hard to judge, and you need that little second to make a decision, and you called it really good, Charlie. That's what Gus did, and wound up making an easy catch out of it.
Popped up, and Stelmacher calling off Schmitty at the last moment, it looked like, but what matters is they did manage to get the out, and 1-2-3 again for Kewaskum. Sheboygan hoping to keep that pace up and hoping to hit well going into the bottom of the 5th.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen? Hello. Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Sage Stelmacher ready to begin the bottom of the 5th for Sheboygan. Between innings, we did have our presentation of musical chairs. And in our last broadcast, we had 4 different A's players. This time only 1 A's player, Riley Palmquist, participating in musical chairs.
He did it right. He tanked. He made it to the finals. 2 guys left, 1 chair, and he let the smaller person win.
3 straight balls for Jake Sweet onto Stelmacher. Had a pretty hard hit ground ball to the first baseman Roberts to lead off his day. And a pretty nice play ranging over from Brad Young, but that one just too deep into the outfield to make a play.
But generally speaking, when you're 3-0 like that, you take a pitch. Sage didn't do that. He elected to swing. Obviously saw the pitch he thought he could handle, and you got a hit, so that's good. But generally you don't see that, especially when your team is down.
It's his first hit of the year.
Yeah, he's hitting .333.
That one, a pretty high popped up bunt, and not going to be successful as a sacrifice. Gus Walker, though, on base, can potentially get something similar with Gus Walker's speed, but that bunt popped up a little bit too much and a little bit difficult to decide whether or not to run on that one. If they catch it and you run, you get doubled up, so safer to wait and ends up getting
it was bunted a little too far, and if you could have laid it down and made the third baseman come way in to get it, I think we'd had runners on first and second. But we're back to the top of the order.
Jack Council, good person to have at the top of the order. Takes one in for a strike. Came into this game hitting .400. Has since gone 0 for 2 on this game so far. With a ground out and a nice line drive.
Yeah, that fly out to left field was...
Gus Walker taking off, and that one a bit of a tricky throw. A bit tricky for Gus Walker to get there. A good throw, especially from his knees from Jared Chesick.
Well, what Chesick did is he got rid of the ball so quick. You know, if he could have taken the hump out of it, he would have had him. But it was a little too high. But in terms of releasing the ball right away, he did a great job.
And still very close to get Gus Walker, and he takes third as well. Aggressive running from Sheboygan, hoping to get ahead of this game.
We mentioned, I think this is before we were on the air, Gus had 7 stolen bases on the season. He's up to 9 now. Leads the club in that department.
That one grounded. Young will get it over there, but that one called out. A close one.
Yeah, another iffy throw by Young, but I guess Roberts was able to come down in time, but Council gets an RBI.
Brad Young has had a couple of throws that have not been quite on the mark, but mostly have been close enough to retire the runner.
Tim Moyer coming down and asking Steve Walsh if he wouldn't help his partner rule on the play, but he said no way, that's his call, and the out stands. So play on, boys. Get a 2-0 rally.
First pitch is a ball to Carson Hansen. Hansen doubled and scored off of a wild pitch in his first plate appearance, and that one hit very well out to center. That one will drop, and another stand-up double for Carson Hansen.
That ball was really
doing very well in that department. His 6th double of the year. And Hansen has a good place to score with Harry Stout coming up.
Yep, 4th double of the ball game. I don't know if you mentioned it or not.
Did not, no. 4th, of course, had those 3 back in the first, but now Carson Hansen bring things up again in the 5th, and Harry knocking that one nicely, and Hansen rushing in to home and tied ball game. Harry Stout with the clutch hitting.
You know, and Harry didn't wait around. He saw a pitch he liked, and he doesn't normally swing at the first pitch, but he did that time and hit a long single to center.
And Harry making that his 25th RBI of the season. Harry Stout still one of the top hitters for Sheboygan, has been.
Of the 5 runs we've scored, 3 of them have come with 2 outs. You know, that's a good sign.
First pitch is a ball to the Northwoods cleanup hitter, Brady Zackerson.
Brady could knock one out. I don't think Harry's going to score on a double. Boy, Sweet looks like he's a little upset. He threw that one pretty hard. 1-1.
Sweet had some very strong 2nd through 4th innings. But that first inning, Sheboygan able to jump out pretty quickly. And now in this 5th, able to answer back.
They ended the first inning getting Becker, and then he retired the next 3 innings in a row. So he had 10 in a row where he retired.
That one a nice grounder. Hard hit by Brady Zackerson to advance to get someone in scoring position for Jacob Neese.
Then we finally broke that 10-batter string by Sweet by getting a hit from Sage Stelmacher. And we're on fire this inning. 3 hits in a row, 4 in the inning. Yeah, Neese can't get the bat weight off, and Jimmy helps him out. And finally, Jacob is going to come up the hit.
Jimmy willing, hoping to maybe hoping Neese gets on base so Jimmy can use some of that power that he got to get the bat weight off.
Yeah, really.
Grand slam would be certainly something Jimmy would like, but Neese swinging first pitch, and short slide by Brady Zackerson will get the out on the fielder's choice, but not before Sheboygan can tie the game up with 2 runs, bringing the score to 5-5.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Sheboygan ready to trying to hold Kewaskum as they tied the game last inning. Hunter Lozier leading off as Eric Schmitz coming into his 6th inning of work. 82 pitches on the day so far.
That was a nice 5th inning for us, Charlie, getting 4 hits and 2 runs.
Lozier hitting that one pretty hard. At least it sounded well off the bat, but flied a little bit too high. And Gus Walker, not often you see him hitting the infield when he's fielding a play, but just...
Well, I was hitting one of those areas again where you had 3 fielders that all think they have a shot at it. And Walker took charge out there and called him off and made a fine catch. And it was a good job by Jack Council to stay out of the way. It's called listening to your elders.
First pitch to Nye is in for a strike. With those, it's easiest for someone who's charging into the ball than someone who's charging out for it.
Exactly. And that's why I think it was a couple games ago we were dealing, I think it was Bennett Becker was going out on a ball, and he called it right away, and the outfielder stayed away, and he made a very nice catch. Made it look easy, actually, but you're right. It's a hard play when you're running away from the infield as an infielder trying to catch it.
Always want to be squared up to when you're fielding it and don't want to have your back to the ball. That one pitched inside. Andy Nye did, he had a sacrifice bunt back in his last appearance. Struck out as well in his first. 2-2 pitch comes into the right fielder. That one lined. Becker going to charge it, and a nice throw, at least in terms of speed, but that one a little bit low, and Neese not quite able to recover.
Well, it's definitely an error on the shortstop. Guess it's a 2-base error, no hit on that. They would have had him if throw would have been up.
And Sheboygan, still managing to work better with it as of recent, but still a big problem with them has been the errors. 52 errors coming into this game within 31 games. That's something you usually want to see, but it has cooled down since the beginning of the year.
It has gotten better, but still not up to championship caliber.
1-0 pitch is in for strike to Proc now. Had an RBI.
What you do in situations like that, Charlie, when you have those errors, you force your pitcher to have to get another out, which means more pitches and shorter starts. And that's the problem with that. Plus, you're putting runners on base that you don't want there.
And foul tipped, swung through. Of course, if that was actually swung through, no contact. Imagine that the runners would have gone, or that Nye would have gone, rather.
Yeah, Schmitty with 6 Ks in the ball game. Unfortunately, also has 4 walks. Make that 3 walks.
1-2 count. And that one's in for a strike. A nice pitch on the outside corner. Takes out Proc now to bring up Landon Behringer.
Behringer having a pretty nice night. He walked back in the 3rd and had those 2 stolen bases and then scored on the home run.
Now, something that I believe we talked about before you could actually hear us out there on the internet was the Sage Stelmacher has shown a lot of good skill with framing the baseball. There's been a couple that looked like they weren't quite in there for a strike, but just by moving the glove in, subtly enough, and convinced the ump that's a strike. Stelmacher threw that one a little bit away, but able to recover it quickly.
The second most important job of the catcher is just throw it back to the pitcher. Don't make them do acrobatics to try and catch your throws.
It's not something you usually think about because it does seem like a pretty routine throw, but a lot of times catcher might still be in the crouch and just trying to make sure that they can get the ball over there. Very nice. And right there, a very, very good framing job by Stelmacher. And again, just from the knees, can't quite get some of those throws in at times.
Well, you got to throw it to the pitcher. I mean, you got to get that done. Your pitcher's working hard enough the way it is. You don't want to make them work harder to catch your throws. Catcher's got to get it done. Sage is better than this.
We'll just chalk it up to the injury recovery still. Still taking off some rust as that one is flied out to New Jersey Avenue.
Lakeshore Auto gets another shout out with that foul ball.
Being pretty active out there is something that not exactly certain when if we have a reward for Lakeshore.
Hey, there we go.
And that one, a very nice job from Stellmacher. He knew right away that was a strike and headed right to the dugout. And Sheboygan looking to take a lead with Jurgensen, Becker, and Stellmacher.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Jimmy Jurgensen ready to set up in this bottom of the sixth. Takes the first pitch in for a ball. Jake Sweet has recovered pretty well from a pretty difficult first inning, though did give up 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Jimmy on the day, an RBI on a 1-for-2 day.
Schmitty's at 98 pitches, Charlie. I'm not sure if he'll come out and pitch the 7th. I don't know what his pitch limit is.
Jimmy pops that one up harmlessly to Hunter Lozier down at in third base foul territory to bring up Bennett Becker. Becker 0 for 2 on the day. Hitting .288 on the year coming into this game. That one will be fouled up and no effort made by Kewaskum to see if we could get any play on that. One pitch, Becker. I think he wanted to hold up on that one initially.
Hard to tell what was going on there.
There might have been one where he wants to swing at it, but like too late he realizes this is a ball. You got to go through with it. Mentioned before that we do have a few games coming up. This one in the Northeast Wisconsin League. That one is grounded, and Young will get the high throw, and that one a very, very nearly an impressive play by T.J. Roberts, but the throw just a little bit too late. Becker in with a single.
Yeah, it was a good hustle by everybody. Young making the good play at short, and Becker hustling down the line, and Roberts trying his darndest to make the catch and keep his toe on the bag. So good play by everybody involved.
I believe Roberts did have the catch and the foot on the bag, but the throw just a little bit too late. It's still just an impressive play all around, as you said. And Stellmacher following that one off.
Yeah, that's definitely out of play.
As I was saying before, this one part of the Northeastern Baseball League. The other games within this week, I believe, also part of that, but tomorrow's game against Green Bay also part of Wisconsin State League, as the pickoff throw goes
He could go
wild.
to third on this.
And he will go to third. TJ Roberts, a strong throw, but nothing doing. And Bennett Becker advances to third off of a wild throw on a pickoff attempt. And that's what you want to see if you're Sheboygan.
Error on the pitcher, a big one there. Roberts really hustling down to try and get that ball, but Becker just too much speed. And Sheboygan has the leading run on third base.
And Becker with that speed, 3 stolen bases on the year, but no stolen base attributed to that one. Still showing off the wheels, going from first to third. Smocker follows that one off in the infield, playing in.
Sheboygan with 9 hits in the ball game. Wouldn't have been for the walks. Schmitty would have been doing a little better. He's only allowed 4 hits.
That ball is lined foul.
You mentioned that Eric has 3 walks in the ball game, and 2 of those have scored.
Schumacher, another one fouled off. Good job keeping this bat alive.
He's a battler up there.
Had a very nice single last inning. Trying to repeat something similar right here, but swings through that one. That pitch well outside, but Stellmacher trying to play a bit defensive. And Gus Walker now with the chance.
Gus reached on a fielder's choice last inning and stole a couple bases and wound up scoring on Council's ground out.
Tried to get a sacrifice bunt in play, but popped it up a little bit too much, dropped in front of Lozier. Managed to throw Stellmacher out at second. First pitch in for a ball. Walker being patient up here. Someone that you definitely would like to see still get on base.
Yeah, Council waiting on deck.
To a pitch, and Gus swinging, hitting it pretty well, but well foul as well. 2-1 count now on the Sheboygan center fielder.
How many pitches for Sweet so far?
87 pitches.
87 pitches for Sweet so far in the ball game.
2-1 count to Gus Walker. That one fouled.
The big difference, though, Charlie, between Schmitty and Sweet is that Schmitty's coming off an injury from last year. You know, he doesn't want to push it, so he's trying to limit himself. Where Sweet, you know, he could probably go well over 100 and be just fine. We don't know that, but
still looking pretty good in this ball game. There's another pitch up there. Walker takes. This level of play, you can see a lot of times we'll have pitchers go over 100. There's Brad Ryanflesh in the building. Noted that before, between innings. That's not an issue of when we had our audio off. That was just, between innings. Brad Ryanflesh here, someone who definitely does throw a lot of pitches. Could see him in relief appearance coming up, but right now, no word.
Not sure he pitched this weekend. You're right, so he could be ready.
Full count now on Gus. And another one fouled off, doing well in this at-bat to stay alive.
Gus making these screens right in front of us work pretty hard. They're keeping a lot of balls in the park.
Being a good investment by Denny Moyer. Another 3-2 Gus Walker grounding that one. That one grounded foul.
Yeah, again, another nice play by TJ Roberts on a ground ball. Thank goodness it was foul.
Mentioned a few times. I believe this one both when we were and weren't on audio, but normally a catcher. Normally a catcher, TJ Roberts, but playing first when he was with Sheboygan, playing first base. Another 3-2 pitch to Gus Walker.
Oh, shit.
And
that could drop.
Up.
Could drop.
And a catch from Behringer. And despite threatening, Sheboygan not able to get anything done. As we head into the 7th, score still tied 5-5.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Getting ready for our 7th inning of play, and our 50-50 raffle still being given out. The final numbers out there. So we have Anthony Yust coming in for his 2nd appearance of the year. And for our 50-50 raffle, $317 given out. Now Anthony Yust coming in. Did see him a little bit during our one game of the WABC that was played here. That was his first appearance out of Lakeland.
Oh, that's right. Do you remember Felix Santana from the Heavy Hitters?
Yep. Couple.
He's signed up with the A's. We may be, I don't know if we'll see him tonight, but we may be seeing him sometime this week.
Would be nice. Felix Santiago did see him in one of our games against Milwaukee, one of a few former minor leaguers as part of that squad.
He knew what he was doing. He was a pitcher.
And Yust, so far in his short stint in the nice maroon shade, I guess, 1 hit given up, but 2 strikeouts in 1 2/3. This is now Dylan Dietert. We'll be ready to start things off for Kewaskum. Eric Schmidt's ending his day with this last inning, still going through his final line score, and Dietert will swing through that one. Just a pretty strong performance. Don't have too much information on him. Not part of our preseason roster because did recently pick him up. Yep.
We mentioned that.
Out from Lakeland, and then flied out, and Gus Walker will get the easy play there. And no harm done for the leadoff hitter from Kewaskum. Bring up Ethan Sawyer.
Eric Schmitz went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 walks, had 8 strikeouts. He allowed a home run. He gave up 5 runs. 4 of those were earned, so his ERA is going to go up a little bit. But credible start.
Bit of a mound visit coming in. And Schmidt, someone who doesn't normally walk people, and that was the difficulty today because, you know, a game where you only give up 4 hits, that's still pretty respectable, especially when your offense gets 9.
You know, and you walk 3 guys. Unfortunately, 2 of those 3 scored runs, and you know that doesn't. Sometimes you walk a lot of guys and they don't score. You know, so what? It's just more pitches for you to throw. But tonight he got burned, and it wasn't a cheapie either.
No.
Home run to center by Roberts was a long one.
A long home run, and then just a solid piece of hitting as a grounder up through center. Gus Walker wasn't quite able to get a hang on for a second run to come in. That one fouled off. And not sure where that one landed. Thought I was going into the stands, but wasn't quite there. Stelmacher still in. We were told at the beginning of the game that Stelmacher, possibly only catching for about half the game. Still going strong into the 7th. Just a 1 pitch, and that one hanged up a little bit, but under it for Gus Walker to move over. But Carson Hansen calls him off, and Ethan Sawyer is retired.
We had talked at the start of the game that we had a lot of haze in the air from the fires in Canada and coming down. And when we look out our press box windows, you can kind of tell that haze is still here. It doesn't seem to have affected the outfielder tracking the ball, at least our guys. Hopefully that'll continue, but it's an interesting night.
TJ Roberts, another one hit well and gone right off the bat. TJ Roberts, 2 home runs against his former team in Sheboygan, and another RBI for the first baseman of Kewaskum.
Boy, oh boy. Hansen just turned around and watched it sail out of here. That was way gone.
I think everyone pretty much knew that was gone right off the bat, and TJ Roberts has been doing very well in this game. 2 for 4 on the day, but those 2 hits being home runs.
We mentioned he had 1 home